A lot of people are stuck right now. You bought a home in 2021 or 2022, probably during the peak of the market, and today you can't sell it for what you have paid. For many, the home values have even gone down and you are dealing with negative equity. And that makes it incredibly difficult to move, upgrade, or even refinance. So the big question is, should you stay and ride it out or should you sell and reset before it gets worse? In this video, I'm going to walk you through what is actually happening in the market, what your real options looks like based on your number, strategy from the top professionals, and whether staying or selling makes more sense in 2026. Because this is not just about value, it's about opportunity, lifestyle, timing, and planning ahead. So let's dive in. So we all know what happened in 2021 and 2022. Ultra low rates, bidding wars, and people overstretched themselves. Now, in current situation, the rates are higher, at least when it was back in 2021 and 2022. Appreciation is really slow. The prices have adjusted, but it's not crashing as of right now. And here's a deal killer. Like many people are stuck in a negative equity or a flat equity. Now, if your mortgage is locked at a higher rate and your home hasn't gained value, you are not alone in this one. So the very first thing, let's understand what does negative equity actually means. So let me explain you in a simple term. So you owe more than you could sell it for. That's a simple definition of a negative equity. Now let me show you with an example. So you purchased a house during the peak for $900,000 and today that house values comes at roughly about $800,000 and the remaining mortgage you have on your house is $830,000. Now, the difference of that 800 and $830,000 that is a negative equity. So in this case, seller would need to come up with $30,000 cash plus the closing costs to sell the house. And most people say it's not even possible because many times we see real estate that it only appreciate over time and selling at a loss, it's not something that we are wired with. But here's the thing. Now, equity is not the only thing that you should consider. Now, let's check out when staying makes more sense for you. So, the very first one in this one is like you love your house, you love the location or the schools where your kids are going. And the other thing is like you don't need anything to move urgently. Now, just to give an example, like in my case, it appeals me so much. It's so tempting right now because of the prices of a bigger detached homes. In my case, to move it in that category, but I don't have a need of that as of right now. So, just for the sake of getting into a bigger detached place, I'm not going to buy it. So, make sure whatever criteria or whatever lifestyle you have and it matches according to the need, not just for the sake of just moving out or just buying because there is something or a good deal happening. The other scenario in which staying makes sense is that if you're planning to stay there for at least 3 or 5 years more, because at that point of time you have already paid down a little bit of your mortgage on that one. So basically, you will have more equity and a better option at that point of time. You could consider finishing up your basement and adding up a value down there. Now, let's discuss what are the strategies when you are planning to stay at your place. So, the very first one we just discussed is the rent your basement or have an extra room for a cash flow. Now, sometimes making a house into a legal duplex could cost you about 50 to 60,000 or upwards, but on a longer term, it might be a really good in terms of your cash flow. The other thing you could consider is to consider refinancing after upcoming Bank of Canada rate cuts. And if you're someone who's stuck with a higher mortgage rate, make sure you sit down with your mortgage agent and do the math, do the calculation whether it makes sense to break that mortgage and switch it to a different product or not. This is the mistake that I'm seeing many sellers are doing in panic is like over renovating or over redoing their house, like modernizing everything, but the return or the ROI on that is not great. So sit down with your realtor, talk to them and see what makes sense for you in your current market. And if you're someone who's looking to get some idea about it, you can reach out to me and have happy to help you. And the other option, which I don't recommend like most of the time, but you can also do is to extend your amortization period to ease the cash flow as of right now, if you're in that scenario or in that situation. And one thing to remember if you stay, make the house work harder for you, not the other way around. Now, let's see your sell options. Now, when selling might make sense or comes as a smarter move. The very first one in this is that you need more space, you have a new baby, parents moving in, or anything like that, or your current home. If you're in a one bedroom condo and feeling it's too cramped, it might be a good position. The other thing is like you are relocating to different cities for work, and this is something happened with my client recently. Like two of my client this year, they are planning to move back to Toronto, so they have to sell their current place and just get something down there. The other thing which is very important, if you're someone who's upgrading to a better school district, then it makes sense to cut the loss and just sell the house and have a better lifestyle or better opportunity for your kids. And of course, if the house does not suit the lifestyle anymore, or what lifestyle you're looking or getting out from it, then it may make sense to sell the house. Now, there are a couple of strategies that you can use while selling to reduce the loss. The very first one is to bridge loan to avoid any forced sale. So make sure you work with your mortgage agent, understand all this thing about it. And if you are someone who wants to book a call with me, I'm happy to do that and explain you everything in detail. The other strategy which might be useful is to sell and rent for the year and buy when the market's soft. You may also consider checking on the assignment sales, which is there are many distress assignment sales out there, but again, price needs to make sense in that scenario as well. Other thing is to talk to lender about your portability or ask for the blended rate as well. And sometimes taking a small loss now is protecting yourself from a big loss in later. So make sure you have your proper game plan and have a strategy before doing this move. Now, if your home still aligns with your lifestyle and you can manage the payments, staying may actually put you in a strong position when the market rebounds. But if you're someone who's stretching, your house no longer fits your life, or your mortgage renewal is going to hurt you, selling strategically might be a safer in a longer term. And it's not always like stay or sell, it's like stay smart or sell smart. So if you're in this dilemma and want to sit down, go over your home mortgage, home value strategy, and even future projections in that, I do a free 30-minute home planning session in this. There is no pitch, just clarity in this one. Book a call today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.